Okay, today I want to share with you, how in the world do we stay positive? How can you stay positive and have a positive mindset that will encourage you to keep on going and making progress when it seems like the world is turned upside down? I know, it's obvious, all the craziness out there. So I really hope that this little framework, it's short, sweet, can help you. When you follow the guidelines, absolutely you can count on it. So first of all, we know, come on, we all know that in life, it happens. I'll let you say it. The big S. Stuff. Absolutely. We all know that. Stuff happens. Sometimes we like it, sometimes we don't. So what I offer you is that the obvious thing is these are life events. So these life events, some of them are within our control, some of them are not. Just look around, right? The one thing, though, that we always have control of, that you certainly can, is how you think, how you focus. And that would be number two, the perspective or the interpretation, the value you place on these life events. I think I may have misspelled that, so forgive me. Interpretation. In psychology, we call this the point of power. And it's vitally important because it's the sole determinant of our success. The interpretation, the value we place on these life events, whether we take them personally or whether we observe and recognize what's going on and then take some action. Would you agree? So we all know and we all can see that perspective. The danger here, though, is if we take it personally, if we place too much value on it, if we take the attitude, oh my God, the world's coming to an end, and we go into fear, that will only make things worse. Yes, be careful. Yes, take care. Yes, be wise, be prudent. Absolutely, we all know that. But worrying excessively is just going to exacerbate the problem and make it worse. And the danger is we'll flood our bodies with what? Stress hormones. And as those stress hormones increase in the body, we will go into a state of survival. Primitive brain takes over, and in that state, we become defensive, we close down, and we take things personally and react. And when we react, we usually say something we wish we hadn't said. It's really the worst possible position to take to make a decision, to move that. It's not a flow state. It's not a state where we feel like the universe has got our back. So the interpretation, the value we place on it, how we look at it. Yes, I don't mean to sound Pollyannish or airy-fairy, but we look for the silver lining or we look for the lesson. So often we've got to ask, what does this mean to me in my life? And what can I do about it? What action can I take? Is there something I can do to turn this around? If it's involving other people, you know you can't change them. People are people. They have a right to be who they are. The real question is, can we live with it? And more importantly, how can you change? How can I change in such a way that I fit better? We're looking to have emotional flexibility. Rigid thinking, take that stand, no compromise, no looking at both sides, only get us into more trouble. And perhaps you know that. So we're looking for maintaining our emotional integrity, yes, while being flexible to learn a lesson. And then with that lesson, move. So for example, I'm not going to write it on the board, but there's an acronym, OAR, O-A-R. Good friend of mine, John Felito, who I work with, uses this an acronym, OR, to observe. Excuse me, the O in OR, to observe. Observe what's going on. Acknowledge the facts, acknowledge the reality, acknowledge the concern, acknowledge the parameters, and make sure while you're observing that you what? Get the right information. Vet the information. There's a lot of fake news out there. There's a lot of Unfortunately, people lying, looking the facts right in the fact, it's like everybody, every agency, every group is saying this is okay, and they refuse to listen and report that. No names mentioned, just think about it. It's very important. So the O is observe, the A would be assess the situation. And we assess by doing your due diligence, researching, checking it out, finding out as best you can to get to the fact. Look at the figures. We're all bombarded with a flurry of sensationalized information. Things are spiking. Things are through the roof. Well, they are going up, but look at the percentages for that. We've got to watch out about the drama. The drama is a way of exacerbating it. Yes, there's concern. Yes, there's an increase. Yes, we need to watch out. You see where I'm going with this? That's what I mean by the point of power. And then when you observe what's going on, the facts, you assess by getting the facts, by doing your research, by checking things out, and then you can what? Respond. Because if we don't do that, we're going to react. And when we react, it's a knee-jerk reaction, and we come from a space of survival, and it doesn't work. So the response is looking. And you can respond better also by saying, okay, now, what can I do about this? How can I turn this around? Does this mean anything to me? The second part of that would be, excuse my back as I write on the board, I thought I'd make this almost like school. So life events interpretation, sole determinant of our success because it what? Influences our mindset. Influences our attitude, our mindset. Are we pessimistic or optimistic? You can tell you're being pessimistic when you hear the news and you think like the world is coming to an end and it's permanent. Or you win a lottery and, oh, knock on wood, I want to go away. And when you have good fortune or some success, you're afraid you're going to lose it because it's temporary. A way to assess whether you're being optimistic is when there's problems, challenges, you begin to look at them as temporary. Whether it's 100 years, 10 years, or 10 months, or a month, or whatever it is. But it's a temporary conditioning, and you have what? The confidence, the mindset, the confidence that somehow, some way, we'll figure this out. And that kind of confidence is called faith. And often we have to take a leap of faith. And I don't mean that to be, again, airy-fairy about it, but yes, we do. If you look back historically and look at the evidence, our history, you can see we've been in worse situations than this. We've lived through dire circumstances, economic downturns, all sorts of warnings about this virus and that and this, and we get through it. We figure things out. We've got great scientists. So look at the evidence and you build that positive mindset. You build that attitude of hope and confidence based on evidence, learning from history. Great believer in that. And fourth and last, when we manage our mindset and we're optimistic, there's hope. If we lose hope, we lose everything. And I really feel for you because right now, too many people are suffering way more. It's horrible condition. I feel for you. I'm concerned too, but I think too many people have it far worse what they're going through. Because if we begin to feel helpless and hopeless, we kind of lose everything. We give up. We get depressed. And if we get depressed, we run the risk of it becoming clinical. If it becomes clinical, we're going to become dependent on drugs, medication. The chemistry takes over. So do what you can. Read something inspiring. You can cultivate a more positive mindset by hanging out, spending time with people who inspire you, who encourage you, who can maybe teach you things. Read books, inspiration. Be mindful of what you're watching on TV. Be mindful of managing the amount of news. Stop watching the news first thing in the morning and late at night. And then manage the amount of it. It doesn't have to be on 24/7. Get the facts. Know what's going on. Be attuned. And then what can I do about it? Get the idea? Because all of that ultimately affects what? The results, our behaviors, which will affect the results, what we can do, our performance. And it doesn't matter whether you're in sales, you'll perform better. Whether you're in a relationship, you'll be kinder. You'll be a little bit more compassionate. You'll be a little bit when you're in a responsive state, when you're in a state of calm and peace, and you're managing it, yes, concerned, you'll tend to be what? A little more patient with people, a little more compassionate. And man, we could all use a lot more of that. More compassion, more patience with that. So that it helps to improve the relationship. You won't run the risk of saying something you wish you hadn't said. And if it's any kind of performance in business and sales, as a coach, as a healer, you'll be at your best. It's the surest way, the result of having your best self emerge and bringing your best self with you in all that you do. So my friends, I hope you find this helpful. And if you do, share it with others. Perhaps there's somebody else who could benefit from this video and would enjoy it and information. My name is Ken Coscia. It's my pleasure to be here with you and to serve now for over 49 years as a Silva Method instructor. I've traveled the world. I'm the lead instructor. I'm the senior guy. And I also serve to train and work with new instructors development. Thank you so much, and may the rest of your life be the best of your life.